So the nurse also there, so they can help you. So when to do, you feel the carotid pulse. You cannot feel the carotid pulse, so that means cardiac arrest. So immediately you perform the CPR while waiting for other nurses to check the pulse rate, to check for the BP, and then to put the ambu bagging to the mouth, okay, oxygen to find out ETT tube to intubate and so on. This is hospital. But we are at the outside of hospital. So that means the step of action is different. You go to the carotid pulse first, cannot, and then you shake the. Actually, you shake first patient, okay, whether respond or not respond. Not respond, that means coma. See the bleeding, okay, not bleeding, that means no bleeding. So the next go to carotid. Carotid, no pulse, so that means cardiac arrest. And then immediately do cardiac compression. After 30 compression, and then after that followed by mouth to mouth breathing to blow, and then repeat again the cardiac compression, chest compression 30. After 30, you must do in 1 minute you must do 100 to 120 compression. Okay, this is considered as adequate CPR. If less than 100 in 1 minute, so this is inadequate CPR. So to define adequate CPR, must compress the heart, do cardiac massage, must pass. Okay, you may get, should be achieve the count, okay, 100 to 120. So for adult, so pediatric different, pediatric, adolescent, infant, and neonate. Neonate is within 1 week, infant within 1 year, 1 year age, and then adolescent after 1 year. So you must know, okay, the in pediatric is different, the rate of cardiac compression and also the oxygen you deliver through the mouth, the breath you deliver, this is different. So in adult, it's very easy. If you are alone, 30 compressions with two respiration blow, breath. But if you are two person, so you do a 15 followed by 2 blow, and then 15 compression followed by 2 blow. If two of you, if only one, you let me know. 3 to 2, 2 person, 2 survivor. The ratio is 15 to 2. So okay, the pathognomonic symptom is absence of pulse or the carotid artery, and then how fast that respiratory arrest develop after cardiac arrest. Usually is 30 seconds after the cardiac arrest. So we develop respiratory arrest. So that means there's no time, okay, to recognize the respiration. But because respiratory arrest already develop up to 30 seconds. After that, you won't see the respiration anymore after the cardiac arrest. The next one you need to recognize is the pupil size. If the pupil size is already dilated, that means the cardiac arrest already happened more than 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes already. So this is the sign of cardiac arrest. Absence of the carotid pulse, no respiration, and the pupil is dilated. So it dilated mean the arrest already occur since the last 90 seconds. So this is actually a CPR, introduction CPR. So Dr. Hairi will give a lecture and training on this next week on CPR, PLS. So the aim of CPR is actually to maintain the blood flow following the cardiac arrest. And the goal of the CPR is actually to continue to provide a small amount of blood and oxygen to the tissue. So CPR actually you want to make there is a blood flow, and this blood flow is not normal, okay? It actually is a minimum, and the reason is actually with this blood flow, at least it can supply some amount of oxygen to the tissue, especially the main organ, and this is to prevent from the permanent damage to this tissue. This is the purpose or the goal of the CPR. Good CPR, patient with cardiac arrest, 10 to 20% of patient survive. Okay, so another 80 to 90%, your CPR is actually unsuccessful. Although the percentage is low, after you do all this CPR, sweating and so on, but only 10 to 20% only successful. Another 80 to 90% patient die. So although the percentage is low, but you still need to do. It might be that patient is under the group of 10 and 20% who survive after CPR. So, okay. So you need to do. Any cardiac arrest, you must do CPR. After that, defibrillation. If defibrillation machine is available. So this is the reason of CPR. Because of cardiac arrest, there will be global cerebral hypoxia and ischemia. As a result of this, what happens to the brain? There will be a excitotoxicity, decrease in the ATP level, and then there will be a metabolic acidosis. As a result of this, there will be can cause neuronal death. At the same time, also can cause mitochondrial injury, inflammation of the tissue, and then there is increase in the free radical. And this free radical inflammation is going to what can happen? It can cause disruption in the blood-brain barrier. As a result of this disruption in the blood-brain barrier, what happened? There will be a brain tissue injury. There will be a edema formation of the brain. Finally, there will be a global cerebral injury, and then because of that, either patient die or if patient survive, there might be a neurological deficit. So that means maybe just bedridden, maybe cannot talk, cannot walk. Sometimes patient also cannot see because hospital look also affected, hypoxic. So the consequences of the cardiac arrest, if you do not act early, to make sure there is adequate oxygenation to the brain. So the reason of CPR is actually you want to make there is some repurposition to the brain, to the injured tissue in the brain. Usually it's not 100%, maybe also not 70% or 80%, maybe just 50% or 60%. That one actually is adequate to prevent from this injury. So this is the sequence of operation. If you came across a patient with sudden cardiac arrest, first you have to shake patient's shoulder whether the patient respond or not, and then if anybody there, you call them for help. Okay, help, including to call the ambulance, and then after that, very important to place patient correctly. So how to place it? To be in the supine position. Open the tie, open the shirt. You might need also to open the pant, okay? But usually, most important is the chest and neck. So you have to remove that. And then ensure there is an open airway. It might be a fluid there, might be a foreign body there. It might be a denture there. So you have to remove all this. Make sure there is no foreign body in the mouth. Make sure the airway is open. So how to make sure what are the maneuver that? So you have to extend the neck. When you extend the neck, so the pharynx, larynx, and the trachea will be almost at the straight position. So in that position, so the air, okay, when you blow, okay, so the percentage who enter the which enter the lung will be more as compared if we not extend the neck. So you extend the neck, that means the position of the trachea and the pharynx and larynx almost straight compared to it did not extend. So it did not extend when you blow. If you go to the nose, if you not pinch the nose, okay, come out from the nose. Even if you not, if you pinch the nose also, so the air with the oxygen in which you blow, it might not be enter the lung quick, as quick as you want. It could be go to the nasopharynx first, after that enter the lung. But if patient the extended, almost straight, and then we blow, so the percentage enter the lung immediately will be higher. So check for the spontaneous breathing, check for the pulse. Okay. So this is actually the step. After that, you start the external cardiac massage. If the artificial ventilation is available, for example, the ambu bag and the mouth mask, that one, then you should you immediately, okay, institute that. So this is the step, okay, 6 step, 6C. 6C, the sequences, very important to follow the sequences if you are alone. If you have somebody to help you, so you as a doctor, you perform the cardiac massage first. The rest will be done by the others. So this is the basic of the CPR, A, B, C, D format. Airway, breathing, circulation, defibrillator. So this is applicable in the hospital. D is applicable in the hospital. The rest all can be done in the outside hospital or as well in the hospital. So therefore, outside hospital, you already have ABC. So defibrillator, you have to wait for the ambulance to come. So this is the step, okay, prior to CPR. First position the patient must be in the supine position. Make sure, okay, patient at the floor, because floor is a straight and hard. If patient on the bed, so the bed might be not stiff. If not stiff enough, when you do a CPR, okay, so there is not enough compression to the heart because the body also move. So when you do compress and then the move or the body also move, follow the bed if the bed is not stiff. So therefore very important, okay. If you patient is on the bed and the bed is very soft, you should put this patient on the floor. Okay, position the patient, okay, at the stiff floor, supine positions. Remove the shirt, the tie, and then ensure the airway. So you need to extend the necks, the head, and then see the airway. Is there any foreign body there or not? Okay, you have to remove it. After that, see the breathing, see the circulation. And then if no breathing, so you do a compression first, followed by to blow, breathing. So it's not breathing first, you not blow first, followed by compression. No, you must compress first, and then followed by breathing to blow or breathing. So this is the step. But this is only this slide is only to show the step and observation. See the position patient, put the proper position, ensure the airway first, see the breathing, see the circulation. This actually is more of observation, not the action. The action actually you circulation followed by breathing. So the basic life support consists airway management, artificial ventilation. So that means you have to blow mouth to mouth, and external chest compression. So this is the basic life support. And one life support is different. You have equipment. And the advantage here actually to provide continuous supply oxygen to the brain and heart. And this is to avoid from irreversible damage to the victim. So when you want to stop the BLS, the CPR, when you to stop. So this is the another approach, whether patient in danger or not danger, whether it's a patient responsive, not responsive. And then the next step is send for help, and then open the airway, find out, ensure airway is okay, ensure. And then see the breathing. If there is no normal breathing, and then start CPR. 30 compression with 2 breath. This is for adult. Okay. For pediatric, 15 to 2 breath. And then you have a defibrillator, you attach the defibrillator. So, okay, in hospital, you usually have a portable one. And then continue CPR until responsiveness or normal breathing return. So, this is a CPR in adult victim. What you do, I already mentioned just now. This is the step. So, this is the step. Follow the format. EMS, Emergency Medical Service. Ours is here is called ambulance. So ambulance, they have a MA there and other facilities. So it's also the same place, that supine position. The head and chin of the victim are placed and parallel to the floor. My people is parallel to floor. And if possible, the feet should be elevated slightly, 10 degree. The feet. This is actually to facilitate the blood return to the central circulation from peripheral. Okay, assessment and maintenance of the airway. So you had to tilt the head. So that means extend, okay, the neck and head. And chin lift. So you that means you have to tilt the head, lift the chin, and then you rescue, place one of the hand over to the forehead and the other bony promises of the chin. So we will demonstrate to you, okay, what do you mean by this one during next week. And then listen the breathing, not more than 10 seconds. If more than 10 seconds, wasted your time, okay? It can cause a irreversible brain damage. So if breathing is not, if patient is not breathing, give a 2 breath, 1 second or longer. Pinch the nose, seal the mouth with yours, and then you blow. So in the first 2, don't go in, repeat and give 2 more breath. So understand not? Just now I mentioned, you do cardiac massage first, followed by 2 breath kan? But in other situation, you need to do reverse. See, if patient is you're not sure, okay? You're not sure how long this patient already stopped breathing. And then you have to blow first, 2 blow, 2 breath, and then do 30 compression, and then followed by blow 2 blow again. Be sure this is immediate case. You sure, okay? Let's say patient at your side, okay? Yes, never. You are actually you are actually the bystander there, and then you found the patient fall down, and then you follow the step. Patient not arousable, no bleeding, no pulse, no character pulse. What you do? Straight away do cardiac compression. Okay, let's say you're not sure how long that patient already collapsed. Or you may saw that patient maybe 20 meter or 50 meter, and then nobody want to have that patient. And then you notice that patient fell about few seconds ago, okay, about 20 meter from you. So what you do, and then you can apply this step. After you follow just now ABCD, but you put the B breathing first, followed by compression. So this is actually depend on the situation. Depends situation. So between 2 breath, you need to give followed by cardiac compression, or you want to do cardiac compression first by 2 blow. Actually depend on the situation. How long that patient already arrested. So artificial breathing, so there are two types of artificial breathing. Outside hospital, you do mouth to mouth or to nose. So this is a bit difficult, huh? Mouth to mouth or mouth to nose. Mouth to nose, no, not familiar. Nobody actually expert on that. But mouth to mouth is quite easy because your mouth and patient mouth is actually similar size. So easy. But mouth to nose, you're not familiar. You may need to practice that, okay? Use a manicure or something like that. And then see whether your technique is okay or not. Whether it's effective, not effective. Mouth to nose. Okay, it's not often done unless you are expert on that. You can do mouth to nose. So this is one type of artificial breathing. The next one is a ventilation. You use a face mask. And then also you use a self-inflating bag with oxygen. This one usually done in the hospital. But outside hospital, your artificial breathing actually the